Hey animal enthusiasts and pet hobbyists, it's Joel here again, and today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on my 2 aquariums. Let's go into it. I'm going to start with the Saltwater Aquarium first. Alright, so the latest inhabitant that I've added to the tank is this guy. You can't really see him. It's a green clown goby, but he likes to hide in the back and around the Dunkin Corals. Yeah, I have some more clips of him right here. Oh, there he goes. Here's another clip of him or her. I named it Theo because that's what one of my followers requested. Here it is in the Dunkin Coral. It likes to eat brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, and flakes. And really, the only time it comes out is when I'm feeding it. It pretty much just hops around the corals and then goes back into its little cave, or the Dunkin Coral. Here's Stripe. Stripe is pretty much the same. The only thing that's changed is pretty much the fins. Most of them, you can see it's darkened in coloration. Not really much of a change in size, maybe just a little bit. It's still growing, but yeah, Stripe actually worried me. I have a clip here. So as you can see, she had an extremely long white string of poop. And this is actually really dangerous because it could indicate that she has parasites or that she is not receiving enough nutrition. So basically what I did is I started feeding her more flake foods and mixing it up with brine shrimp and mysis shrimp, and as well as some phytoplankton, and it seemed to help out. So ever since, I haven't seen her have any more stringy poop, so that's good. Here's a short clip of Theo and Stripe together. They get along well. They never nip at each other or fight for food. The only thing about them is they're almost always completely separated. Theo is more of a benthic species, meaning it stays near the bottom, and Stripe is more of an epipelagic. It likes to swim around the surface and just different parts of the tank, but overall they're completely compatible. Some other updates. I lost my colony of zoanthids because they got outcompeted by this waving hand clavularia coral, so they unfortunately got wiped out. But my acans are actually blooming. I got 4 heads now. I remember I only had this head and it was undergoing coral tissue recession because it was getting stung by my Dunkin Coral, but as you can see, it's doing extremely well now. Here's actually a photo during the time it had tissue recession, and as you can see, much of the skeleton is exposed where it was getting stung. Basically what I did to treat it was I fed it a lot of mysis and brine shrimp, and I was dosing magnesium and calcium, and it seemed to bounce right back, so that's good. My trumpet coral, this small head over here started to have a little bit of coral recession, tissue recession, but it seems to be doing okay for now. I just need to feed it a little bit more. I got this Kenya tree coral. It seems to be doing well, but it introduced quite a bit of aptasia, which is a little bit of a bummer, but nothing seems to be going on that's wrong. I still have a lot of the macroalgae growth, and I actually have, as you can see in the back, I'm not sure what species it is, but it's just started growing out of nowhere, and I never even introduced it, so it was like a hitchhiker. The xenia coral is just getting out of control. It's pretty much everywhere now, but I just trim it down every now and then. My mushrooms are getting huge. These are just under or beneath the xenia. You can't really see them, but they're having a lot of growth. And here's this mushroom, still the same. But yeah, it's just having a bunch of little babies in between, and this whole rock is just completely covered, which is really cool. And I actually have a lot of coralline algae growth, as you can see on the wall. A lot of the rock work is becoming covered in this pink algae, and I think it looks really nice, and it tells me that I have a good amount of calcium in the water, which is good for the LPS corals. So yeah. The last thing, as you can see right here, I have my GSP growing, and it's pretty much the same as how it's always been. I was hoping it would grow along the entire backside of the wall, but it's pretty much just the same. And it's surprising because most people say that they're just like non-stop growers like xenia, but for some reason mine is just the same. So yeah, I mean, I don't really mind, but it would be cool. So yeah guys, that's pretty much an update for the Saltwater Aquarium in terms of what has changed so far. So now let's get to the freshwater. So as you can see, quite a bit has actually changed. The light, there's a lot of guppies still, a lot of babies too. And unfortunately, I lost Angel, the betta fish, and I'm not entirely sure why because they are such easy fish to care for, but maybe in another video I'll go over it. I still have my 3 neon tetras. The third is hiding behind the roots. Unfortunately, I lost my black neon tetra, and I actually still have the neon tetra that I had once believed to have neon tetra disease. But now that I think of it, it seemed like it was more of vitamin C deficiency because the symptoms are actually quite similar as well. As you can see, the spinal cord has a bit of scoliosis. But yeah. So the reason I'm using this really cheap light is because my fluorescent tube lamps stopped working. I believe the hood works fine. I just need to buy some new tubes. But the plants seem to be doing all right. The only one that seems to be affected by it the most is the Amazon sword, as you can see. But there's still some growth, so before it starts to die off, I hope I could get a new tube for the hood, and I could bring the whole tank back to how it was before. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much an update for both my aquariums. I'm hoping to get a new tube for my freshwater aquarium soon. But yeah, so if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment, and I'll see you in the next video.